want to go to our pickleball correspondent in a second, but I need to let her finish chewing whatever it is that she had.
God forbid a girl eats a piece of granola.
I'm not saying anything other than I need to let you finish chewing.
Is this a Portland? Is that a Portland hint? Is that an Easter egg? Is Dame here? Granola.
Dame time.
You do word association with Portland and granola?
Doesn't everybody? Like Subarus, granola, and Tivas.
Put it on the poll, Juju, at LeBatard Show, please. Does everyone do word association with granola and Portland? Before we get to our pickleball correspondent, though, I simply want to finish Amin's dream because the more interesting parts of it, unfortunately, he just revealed to me off air. One of the things includes he's barely spoken to Dan Patrick in his life, and Dan Patrick keeps appearing in his dreams, but that's not the weirdest part of the dream. This is the weirdest part of the dream, and this is the part of the dream he omitted because it didn't fit contextually with the show that we were doing. What else happened in your dream?
I was playing a video game, and in the video game is about the fall of Rome. And so you got Romans and Goths and Visigoths and fires and stuff. And then the game came out of my screen and into my apartment. And all of a sudden, I've got Romans and chariots and fires and bows and arrows and catapults and stuff in my apartment. And the thing I was most concerned about was, don't ruin my apartment. I wasn't afraid of dying or of like this crazy technology that is brought to life something that is, in a fictional game. I was worried about, don't ruin the carpet. No, I'm like, no.
I've never had fire in a dream. Have any of you had fire in your dreams? That's never happened.
Before we keep going, are we going to stay on this for a minute? Because I'm going to eat another piece of granola, unless you're bringing back to pickleball.
Have you had any fire in your dreams?
Not that I can recall.
It seems like that would be a nightmare.
Some fire.
Is it? Am I like an oddity in that
I remember
that I remember my dreams and that I write them down and I remember them? That's not normal. People don't do that.
No, my Jokic dream I remembered. There was some fire in that one.
Do you have recurring dreams?
No, I used to when I was a kid. Not since I was like 10 years old. My dreams are all brand new. We don't reboot anything. We get brand new original ones.
I still have the recurring dream of not being able to graduate, of failing a class and being allowed to graduate.
I've had that dream too.
It's a bad one.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatard Show. Have you had the dream of failing and not being able to graduate? Chris Cody, have you ever had fire in your dreams?
No, just in my heart.
Do you write down any of your dreams?
Who writes down their dreams?
I did. I did last week.
Pen and paper next to your bed?
No,
Notes app, Chris.
Yeah,
Jesus
come
Christ.
on.
You sound like
I have
your father.
you dipping a pen in some ink.
I had a dream last week. I woke up. First thing I wrote down what it was. An hour or two later, I looked at my phone and I was like, "What?" And the dream had someone wearing an embroidered hat that had SpongeBob on it. But the lower half of his body was a bowl, and one of his hands was like one of those pasta cutters, like the utensil, like Edward Scissorhands, but like one of the pasta things, like the crimper. And then the other hand was just a sheet of yellow pasta, like a thin sheet of pasta. And he was like cutting his own hand off with the pasta crimper and making pasta out of his own body. And I woke up and I was like, whoa, that would be a sick hat.
What a weird notes app that must be. You just have like a notes app where it's just you wake up 3:30. I was going down a mountain. The mountain was made with poop. Like, what are you writing in this notes pad?
I have it right here. It says SpongeBob in a bowl, razor blade, hand making pasta.
And that was
Well, there you
enough
go.
to get you to remember the details.
Yeah.
Good job, because
Thank
Amin would write stuff down, I assume, and then struggle to recall it.
The bank somehow ended up with keys to a bank. Thought about using them to rob the bank, but realized that was probably a dumb idea. So I went after hours to return them. I opened the bank door, and immediately a flash goes off, and a security guard says, "Don't move," and instructs the other guard to arrest me. I explain, "I'm just returning the keys," and he says, "Yeah, right." And I say, "Think about it. Would I rob a bank with no mask on, not even a bag to carry the cash in? For F's sake, I didn't even walk sneakily. I could see this is starting to make sense to him. I asked to use the bathroom."
I had a dream on my cruise that our cruise ship was heading towards a waterfall. That was terrifying.
Like you were about to go over the Niagara Falls.
End of the earth. It was panic amongst the whole ship.
Did you save your dad?
I woke up. I have this ability to know when I'm dreaming. You guys do this? Where it's
Inside
like,
the dream?
I'm in the dream, and I'm like, this
called
is a clearly...
lucid dreaming, right?
This is a bad dream, and then as soon as it gets really bad, I just wake up. I'm like, this needs to end. I'm done with this.
I'm at a mall. It's me, Luka Doncic, and Dion Waiters, and another guy. The mall is open, open face but covered. They asked who I played against in high school, and I said there's one active player who went to high school we played against, but not when I was in high school because we torched that school 120 to 33. I lie and I say I had the best game against them. Waiters asked if I was
You're
doing.
a liar in your dreams?
Yes. Waiters asked if I was doing N1 stuff, and I said no, I was just mercilessly going for it. Walk into a Walgreens and everyone grabs a basket. We're grocery shopping, grabbing Wonder Bread, soup in a box, juice cans. At one point, waiter says, it's crazy. Luka's the best player in perhaps the world, and no one in the store seems to recognize him. We joke about making a video mocking the fact, but I think their store clerk recognizes us because all of a sudden he's around and trying to be helpful, bringing us extra baskets.
I see a thread that you don't like not being recognized.
No, I'm
Twice
saying,
in your dreams, there's famous people not being recognized.
well, yeah, not
You had
me.
Luka,
but-
you had Michael, but you're dreaming about them, which
not
maybe
You're wide awake after writing all that.
Oh yeah, it's a big problem. I can't get back to sleep after.
I think the thing about Amin's dreams is the specificity in which he brings like a script to life. Crazy. How?
He's writing a lot and not interested in getting back to sleep, it would appear. Do any of you, none of you die in your dreams, right? Everybody wakes up before they die in the dreams, correct?
I was taught that if you die in your dreams, you're dead.
No, you never been to a funeral? Your own
You
funeral?
were
in a
taught
dream?
wrong.
Oh man,
That's Inception, dude.
Let me see if I got your own funeral. Yeah, that's great. Oh wow, look at this one. This one's long as hell. I'm not going to read this one.
None of you have died in your dreams, right? It's different to be in I think in the casket already dead. I'm talking about the act of dying. I thought everybody woke up before they
I've died in
died.
a dream before.
You have?
Yeah. I had a shot-for-shot recreation of Titanic in which I was Jack.
Oh.
You
You
floated.
were upset about the door?
Did you try to get on the door?
I did.
Maybe you should go. Maybe you should go down there and see if the door's still down there.
Who played
I heard
Kate
there's this
Winslet in your dream?
company
Janet
that
Jackson.
takes trips down there.
The weirdest dream I've ever had
Ocean Gate.
was my dream self told me as I was asleep, you got to find Vidmar Ninen. And I was like, what? Vidmar Ninen. You have to find him. He's the key. And I said, the key to what? And then my dream self went back to sleep. And so I woke up and I Googled the name and it didn't mean anything. But it's in my mind, I wrote the treatment for a great thriller where your dream self knows things that your waking up self doesn't know. And you're trying to communicate that to yourself as you're trying to solve this mystery.
How sure were you when you started the Google process of Vigmar that it was not going to be fruitful? Were you hopeful when you started the Google process?
I was like, what? Maybe I've seen it. Because, David, I'm thinking, oh, you saw the name somewhere and that's why you dreamt about it. But when there's nothing even close, because I had the spelling.
So you were disappointed.
I was.
What do you mean you had the spelling?
I had the spell,
There's no way dreams actually mean something. It's such a fraudulent like profession. Let me tell you what this dream means. Like, how would any person know or have any clue what my dream means? Oh, I had a dream about a cruise. That means you have issues with. It's like, shut up. You don't know anything about my dreams. It's just such a fraudulent industry. David, I feel like you believe all this. If you had a dream about this,
I don't believe it's a fraudulent industry. I'd like to hear you describe what you think the industry is of therapy.
No, not therapy. I'm talking about people that we had someone on. I think it was a mystery crate one time.
Ricky Williams.
That was telling you what your dreams meant. It's like, oh, if you had this dream, that means you had issues with this. It's bull honky. I call BS.
Cruise ships represent our emotions, our motherly characteristics, and above all, a spiritual journey.
Your subconscious has all sorts of things in
Uh-oh,
it.
Chris, a cruise liner, in my view, indicates you might be locked into a relationship and have problems that we will find difficult to overcome.
Oh.
Now we're talking. Now we're getting in.
I'm happy.
Chris,
I'm happily married.
is there something you want to say right now?
I was on a cruise. That's why I had a dream about a cruise.
But it wasn't going over a waterfall.
What happens if my cruise is going down a waterfall? What does
Emotional
that
turmoil.
This is dumb. I'm at a rooftop bar after a surprising victory for Ghana to go on to the World Cup final. Also, ASU just beat U of A, and I was talking mad to a screeching fan while Dan was doing a live podcast. Bimmel says, make sure you thank Hildy and Kristen. Right before Dan's about to sign off, I jump in with, wait, one more thing. Afterward, I go and sit at a table to finish my drink, and there's a pretty lady there with a table fan in front of her. I make small talk, and she says, "Tell me about it." Oh, my God. And puts down a credit card which has a bunch of team logos. I ask her what she does for a living. She says, "I'm a surgeon. Have you heard of Dr. James Andrews?" I said, "Yeah. I'm his sister. Last month, I operated on a hematoma on someone's right knee."
These are so specific.
We continue to chat about the bill. She asked,
What was her name?
Wait, who's knee? A player's?
Tell me it was Dr. Jane Andrews.
we continue to chat about the bill. She asked what the wave runner fee is for, and I said, "Oh, yeah, they got this jet ski in a small pool over there that you can ride. Yeah, they turn on a fan, and it feels like you're riding it. It's actually that fan you got in front of you right there. I hope you didn't think you got to keep that. I'm going up next." She's laughing at my small talk banter, and as she gets up to leave, I said, "Should we exchange contact info, in case I need someone to operate on a hematoma?" You never know.
That,
What does it mean?
It means that Chris Cody's relationship is in trouble. Jessica, is the granola now gone? I saw that you went to it a couple of more
I
times.
mean, Amin was reading long paragraphs. I snuck a few more bites, so sue me.
I've got the best one. This is the absolute best one. Like this one, because you guys say, well, when you write them, you wake up after that. And I'll say, yeah, unfortunately, that's a side effect. You write them and you wake up, and now I can't get back to sleep. So I tried one time just writing quick notes, not paragraphs and stuff. I said, I'll figure it out in the morning. And this is what I wrote. The bus, preachers, courthouse, Bram Stoker, bathroom, restaurant, Mr. Miami, Martin Lawrence, peeing on my ankle, wash hands, grit loop.
That's not
in the sink,
short.
grocery section,
You're still waking up.
Chris Cody broccoli. No dregs, no.
We're never going to get to pickleball.
Never. You can eat as much as you want.
No dregs, no dick.
I made it.
What the hell was that?
That's what happens when I don't write the paragraphs.
I'm the weird one.
The last time we talked about pickleball on this show, I declared that I renounced it because the old people at the Miami pickleball courts were too mean to me and Lehman, and they also beat our asses like 11-1. But joke's on them, because the study came out last week that apparently pickleball injuries will account for over $400 million in healthcare-related costs this past year, because the people playing pickleball are predominantly over 60, and they're all dropping like flies now. They are tearing their Achilles. They're injuring their knees, their shoulders, their hips. They all need surgery. They're all taking breaks now from pickleball. And it's costing, most of this is Medicare, I believe, according to one source. It's costing hundreds of millions of dollars in costs to get surgeries and rehab for all these old people playing pickleball.
So you'd rather they stay docile. Yeah. Like, don't leave the house when you're 60.
No, we just got
Yes, the two options for when you're old are play pickleball or stay in your house forever. That's all you get.
We gotta
one or
get-
the other. You gotta pick one,
We need
guys.
pickleball where they like sit in a chair. You know what I mean? Where you're still playing.
No, it's an easy
Maybe
solution.
like ping pong. It's just ping pong.
Just
and you
relax.
sit.
Just settle down. Like, stop taking it. These old people go ham at the pickleball courts. They're going crazy every single time I'm out there. They are.
They're
for
beating
people,
your ass.
They're beating my ass. Exactly. You should not be beating my ass. I work out. I'm in shape. I play pickleball. I run. I jog. I do Pilates. Hit the sounder. And these old people are taking it more seriously than me. No, it's supposed to be white women. Whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But here's the thing. Joke's on them, because you should not be going harder at a sport than someone in their 20s. Like, you just should not be. You're 70. It should be a leisurely dinking over. They're trying to do things that they're not equipped to do. They haven't played sports in 50 years, and they think they can go out there and they're just all of a sudden cutting back and forth. And guess what? Their knee's going one way and their foot's going the other, because they're not conditioned for it.
What are you shaking your head about, David?
I just feel that I'm listening to what she's saying, and if I were on the pickleball court, I'd be trying to beat every 20-year-old's ass, because I'm still active, and I don't want to be old. I don't want to be that guy.
Enjoy the herniated disc.
Well, this is what's happening. It's actually super interesting, because I do believe that most people think they're younger than they actually are. And that certainly is true of overzealous pickleballers
And Rick Ross.
who don't overzealous pickleballers who don't think they could tear their Achilles, because there's been a proliferation of that, correct? It's the Achilles is snapping more than anything else because of people thinking, well, pickleball is more aggressive than golf. I can get a little bit of cardio work, but it's not that aggressive. It's not tennis. I don't have to run all over the place. It's a smaller court, and so I'm not going to get hurt being overly aggressive out here.
I think the skill level you need to be a decent pickleball player is lower than the skill level you need to be a tennis player that can volley back and forth for more than one or two volleys. So it's more of a sustained exercise. And I love pickleball, even though I renounced it. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun sport. We played pickleball with the show a few months ago. It was great. Kicked Roy and Chris's asses. But Dan, this is the top pickleball injuries by body part region for last year. 13% are wrists and then 13% lower legs. So a lot of it is people's ankles and knees and their wrists. They can't handle it. Even though it's a light little paddle, they're trying to slam it.
I imagine it's
they're
from
trying
falling,
to dink
no? It's like from falling over.
That's
and trying to
probably-
break
It's
yeah,
yourself.
that's probably
change of
it, too.
direction. Change of direction. Mike Breen did the South Beach sessions with Dan, and Taylor and I escorted him from across the street to the arena to the studio, and he
How many bangs?
What's up?
How many bangs on the walk over?
I thought you said so. He
You
apologized.
thought Mike Breen had a lot of sex on the way over, did you?
He apologized for not being able to walk quickly because he had just gotten hurt playing pickleball, and I was asking about it. He's the one that told me there's been an explosion in these Achilles ruptures.
Is that why
Where?
Mark Jackson was on crutches during the
Yes,
finals?
yes, because he also ruptured his Achilles playing pickleball.
See, and Mike Breen's 62, and it says that 8 in 10 pickleball players are over the age of 60 years old, and Medicare is picking up 85% of the tab. This is a national health crisis.
Now here's the thing, Mike looks like he's in great shape. I said, Mike, you look like you're in shape. He said, like, yeah, I exercise all the time. I run all the time. I run miles and miles. But he said, it's the lateral movement. They're not, and the start and stop. They're not used to that. They're used to going straight line, start, and then stop.
You mentioned Taylor, and it is not the exclusive domain of old people to get injured, because Jessica was making fun of Taylor because how did he get injured?
Well, Dan, Taylor went to Chicago last weekend, and I told him, oh, you're going to Chicago. You've never been there before. You're going to a Cubs game. You got to go to Sluggers, go to the batting cage, swing a bat, batting practice. He went, tore his back muscle on his first swing.
First swing?
First swing, yeah. This man's in his 20s. Tore
Got
it.
to stretch.
Didn't stretch.
The thing with all these athletic events is that it is easy. It happens with players, where when they get older, they try to do things on the court. Basketball is a great example where players see things, but they can't execute it because they still see the play developing,
Right.
but they don't have the physical ability to execute, and then they get frustrated.
Is it gender specific for me to say that men always think that they're younger than they actually are? I don't know that women are afflicted with the same kind of stupidity that
it's
men
everybody.
are here. Is it everyone who thinks that
That's
they're
a good
younger?
question. Women are told that they're old starting at the age of like 30. So, yeah, I mean, I think at some point it's ingrained into you. So maybe it is just a male thing.
Let me ask you this, David, because Mike Ryan claimed that we had one of the great sports photographs ever taken yesterday during what is historically a slower time in sports. On July 4th, as part of the festivities, we have the distinctly American celebration of gluttony of the most disgusting food. It's
What?
just such a great. Well, the hot dog is disgusting. You can love the hot dog and acknowledge that it's a bunch of spare meat parts that I think represent one of the few American cuisines. Right, like nothing else is ours. The hot dog is distinctly American.
Do we get to claim hot? I think
right
it
it
comes
is.
from like Germany,
Germany,
though,
yeah,
and like
sausage
Eastern
and
Europe.
Bratwurst.
Okay,
Did
so
you
it's not
listen
even.
to Nothing
Frankfurters.
Personal today?
I did not.
Which is amazing because the
Dan,
word of
did
the
you
day.
listen to Nothing Personal that came out before we had just begun our
The word of the
pre-production
day
meeting?
was gluttony, and I don't know if he saw the rundown, which he may have seen because we communicate as a company because we're all company
we don't.
shows. So that said, gluttony was the word of the day, and my question was: are these guys athletes? People were celebrating Joey Chestnut, doing lists of the top athletes of our
Most
generation.
dominant athlete of
and
our time.
Joey Chestnut is on the list.
15-time champ.
Dave, have you tried to eat 67 hot dogs in 10 minutes or whatever
Haven't
it is?
had one.
Well, there it is.
I'm with David, though. No one actually thinks Joey Chestnut's a great athlete. You're all just saying it because it's the 4th of July. He eats a
What?
lot of hot dogs. He's just a guy who eats a lot of hot dogs. He's nowhere close to Tom Brady, Tiger Woods. Get out of here.
Exactly.
With this.
He's nowhere close because those guys have never dominated like that guy has.
You're doing the wacky thing. He's
No,
an all-time
wacky
great
thing.
athlete. What a
Wacky
great
thing.
topic, sports topic.
You know what Chris is? Chris is the guy who sits on his couch and say, "I could do that. I could."
No.
I could. Yeah.
It's impressive, but he's just not. He's never Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, or Tom Brady.
I think there's more physical training in what he does for a living than what Tiger Woods did
Facts.
for a living.
Tiger
Facts.
Woods trained way more than Joey Chestnut.
No way.
Tiger Woods
just
was
said
golfing when he was 5 years old.
Do you not know like the training regiment that these competitive eaters have to go through?
To eat 120 Twinkies or 30 Big Macs in 38 minutes?
Yeah, that's you're constantly tweaking technique.
He's not an athlete. He's just gross.
He's just gross.
Better at being gross than the
Did you,
rest.
hold on, did you see those guys come out there all ripped and stuff? Those guys don't look gross.
Kobayashi had like a 12-pack.
Dude, Kobayashi, legend, man.
Legend.
Let's
OG
pause.
in the game.
Yeah, let's pause to remember his legacy erased by the dominance of Joey Chestnut. That's not how you know he's
not
great.
dead.
No,
He's dead in this game.
in the game.
Well,
he's
gone.
done.
he's
To
invited
hiding.
back every year. He just won't go
Gone into
because
hiding because
done.
America
Because Joey
embarrasses
kicked
him.
his ass.
And it's not uniquely American because I went right to YouTube after yesterday's contest, and there is the second place winner in the women's contest has 850,000 subscribers on
Japanese,
YouTube.
right?
Japanese,
Yep.
and she eats an amount of sushi that would
Yes.
shock you. So I thought it was just Americans.
Major League Eating is a worldwide circuit where specific competitions happen in specific places.
But getting back to the photograph that Mike Ryan claims is one of the great sports photographs ever taken, it was canceled yesterday. I read that it was canceled, and then a heroic Joey Chestnut, determination on his face, emerged. And look at him. I mean, you can see athletic greatness and fire on his face. It is Game 6 LeBron face in Boston to save the franchise. Joey Chestnut is saying, this is the only day anyone pays attention to me. This is my signature sport. Lightning will not keep me from eating 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Nothing will keep me from eating 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
And it's prize money. Don't forget that in this circuit, he has a chance to make.
No. I heard the intro guy say, he doesn't do it for the money. And so I believe him. Also, can we throw that
He
picture
also does
back
it for
up?
the mustard belt.
Can we get that picture? Because I want to shout out, first of all, young Brad Pitt on the left there, who looks truly inspired by what Joey Chestnut's doing here. And then the security guy in the back. My man is on it. He knows he's got his eye on a situation 3 plays ahead of us, knowing exactly where that guy is going. Also, what's in that guy's pocket over there?
The actual quote from Kenneth Heasley, who overheard
Go
this
sit in the
happen.
penalty box
What is
for
wrong
2
with
minutes.
you?
I mean, no, he's just out of control. I let him talk about his dreams, and now he thinks everything he says is interesting.
The actual quote from Kenneth Heasley is, Joey Chestnut said, I'm going to get the rest of the guys out, and we're going to do this effort. Yeah. He's bigger than the sport. He is. He looked at Mother Nature in the face and said, nay.
I'm not all that interested. I thought that they should have done it. ESPN was not happy. They were ready to go live, and they had to do a little flag on the bottom of the screen saying they're in a lightning delay. It caused a huge problem, especially a programming problem, because there was no reason to delay it. You can do the hot dog eating contest indoors. It's easy. There's got to be a rain plan.
No.
It's got to be on the boardwalk at Coney Island.
It's a broadcast issue.
Oh, you don't
you
get
got to play at the time allotted.
This is America, Jack.
Yeah.
ESPN was pissed off, as they should be, going with old ESPY nominations.
We all think, even if it's delicious, we all know that the hot dog itself is disgusting, correct? That what is in there
No.
is
I
foul
agree.
parts.
Absolutely
I'm with
not.
you, Dan.
Nice beef,
It's like
Frank.
most of our food, Dan.
But no, I think the hot dog is a bigger criminal than most of our food. But if you want to make it more,
Not the kosher one.
There you go.
Nice little Hebrew national, all beef Frank. Come on,
That's
guys.
what I'm saying.
Hubba
That's what I
hubba.
had yesterday.
but if you want to make it more disgusting, make it 62 of them in 10 minutes. And if you want to make it more disgusting than that, make it ones that you dump in water so that you're lubricating the entire system and just shoveling wieners down your throat.
Hey, yo.
Juju, put it on the poll, please. More impressive, 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes, or what were you saying, Chris Cody? 32 Big Macs Joey Chestnut has eaten?
In 38 minutes. 32 Big Macs in 38 minutes. I feel gross after eating half a Big Mac.
I found the Twinkie one to be the most gross. He has the Twinkie record. Check that. I believe he had 120 Twinkies in a very...
120. I got all of them here. 121 Twinkies in 6 minutes.
He did 185 croquetas in 8 minutes. We talked to him on Mystery Crate last year, and he's like, I love Miami. I love croquetas. I'm like, buddy, I can tell.
There's one on here that I feel like I could do. 413 chicken wings in 12 hours.
You lost a chicken wing eating contest to Chris Whittingham like 2 years ago.
No, I think I won that. I almost blew it. I did almost throw up. I had to eat, like, how many were there? I did beat him. And it got really scary.
He was using a fork and knife.
After like 10, I was like feeling like I needed to throw up.
Jessica almost threw up this morning.
Oh, God, yes. After my 4th of July yesterday, we had some friends over and we're making margs. And this morning I went to take a sip of water out of a Yeti and took a huge swig and immediately realized that it was margarita and had to spit it into the sink. It was disgusting. Felt like I was in a dorm room in college.
And not just margarita, but margarita with like diluted ice
Like
from the
old
day before.
margarita. Although
yeah.
I shout out to Yeti, still ice cold.
Nice.
Could have been worse.
Good job. The question I have for everybody is how many
Not really.
How many hot dogs could you eat in 12 minutes? Because that's the time.
Tony, why are you pointing at Jeremy?
Damn, because I know how these things go. All of a sudden, it's Tony. Why'd you say that? You kicked me out. That was all Jeremy.
I didn't even say it on mic. It was an off mic. That's for the real heads.
Okay.
Got you.
The real heads. Get
What
out
did
of
you
here.
just do? What?
Amin gave me the
Dan, get
finger
him outta
point.
here.
He gets it. Come on.
I got him. Look, you guys don't understand. There's a show within a show. There's a show.
we
within
don't
a show.
understand.
No.
That sort of makes it bad.
No, quite the opposite.
That's the good stuff.
You ever watch Westworld? Right? Like most people are playing season 1 of Westworld. Most people are playing Westworld, the regular game. I get on a horse, I shoot people, da-da-da. But then for the people like the man in the black hat, he's like, no, there's another game here that's being played that nobody else knows about. It makes those people feel very connected.
So you and Jeremy are wearing the black hat?
No, we're the ones designing the park.
And what's Dan doing during this?
Oh, Dan's
Sweating.
Dan's welcoming people at the train station and stuff, dropping a can of beans and whatever the hell, James
Oblivious to the genius happening in the shadows of the world I've created.
Exactly.
Because it's so complicated and nuanced.
Yes,
that I
because
can't
the
keep
Yeti
up.
Blanc shout out
Yes,
happened.
yes, because Amin and Jeremy are having a secret conversation where they go on a flume of adventure, unbeknownst to me, trying to do my normal show, where others roar with laughter and delight because they're creating something that is larger.
Amin just scalped a cyborg and found Yeti Blanc's name.
I am risking poking the bear here,
Yes,
but
go ahead.
Jessica, very simple question for you. What were the odds when you drank from the Yeti that it was not going to be water, and why wouldn't you have gone to something where you were assured that it was going to be water?
Well, here's the thing. I have
Where
2
is he?
Yetis in my kitchen that are the same color, and one I always put water in, and one usually has iced coffee in it. So I thought, worst case, this is iced coffee that my boyfriend made for me this morning. Did not have margarita
That's the
on my
worst
bingo
case?
card.
The worst case is iced coffee that was made for you?
He's a kept man.
I think, although he's rebelling against you with a terrible mustache.
Yes, yeah, that was disgusting. I feel like men exist to shave weird things onto their faces. Like at a certain age, that's your raison d'etre. You just want to have some dumb in your face occasionally.
Put it on the poll, Juju. Do men exist to shave dust on their faces? I want to get back to what it is that Samson did there, because I think there are any number of behaviors around him from all of us that mortify him. I don't believe that David Samson is capable of drinking something and not knowing what it is before
That ain't a David Sampson thing.
That right. You're making that sound like I'm the only one, and that it's strange. And that is one of the interesting things about the dynamic here. I'm surprised that anybody would do that after a party, no less. You said that you had hosted a party, and it's the remnants of a party, and yet you're looking for water, and then you just go to the first thing thinking only iced coffee or water, not realizing it could have been margaritas.
First of all, who doesn't finish a margarita on the 4th of July? There should have been no more margaritas. We left behind a good soldier, and for that I feel terrible. I never expected in a million years someone wouldn't have finished one of those margaritas. It just, the thought didn't cross my mind.
Was the Yeti Blanco?
Go sit in the penalty box.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I like that.
Go sit with him if you want to. Jeremy, go sit with him. All three of you go sit in there. Unfortunately, though, I did want to talk to Chris Cody because he's our train guy. He's our train expert. And
No, he is not the train guy.
He wishes he was a train guy.
not the
You
train
got
guy.
2 train experts right here,
I'm in
buddy.
a group chat about trains.
Hey,
Okay.
soul sister.
That's weird.
Well, Tony and Mike claim to be our train guys, but have either of you had happen what happened to Jessica Saturday night, where she heard from where it is that she was also partying? Good partying weekend for Jessica. She heard the sound of a car hitting the bright line. That people keep saying the bright line is killing people, but the bright line is not killing people. People are driving into the bright line. Like, this is not the fault of the train. I don't understand how this keeps happening in Miami.
It was a drive-by. I was sitting at a wine bar and heard the
Great bar, by the
train
way.
incident. Yeah, but went there with Tony and Jenny once. Very nice. Good wine, great cheese.
Little aperitif.
Mwah. Salami, a little gabagool. I knew something immediately was amiss because this is Miami and we can't have nice things. There is a train accident here once a month, sometimes fatal, sometimes just like cars getting wrecked and people are okay. And I knew as soon as I heard this, I didn't have a direct line of sight, but I was like, something has happened. This train has now been stopped for like 15 minutes. There's another train coming. They're all blaring their, you know how when trains pass, they honk at each other? Yeah, this was like that, but for 10 minutes while I was drinking my wine. So I was like, well, I hope everyone's okay. And sure enough, I went on Only in Dade 5 minutes later. They already had the video from like 6 different angles. This guy, it appeared that he pulled up to the tracks, stopped, and then the train gate closed on top of his car, and then instead of backing up off the tracks, he went forward right as the train was coming, and he actually drove into the train. It was just the strangest thing that I've ever seen. It looked like everyone was okay, but I still don't understand why that happened.
I think that's Darwinism.
It is.
I think
The
you
bright
just-
line is the hand of Darwin. And it might actually be doing us a favor. And I don't like that it's called a murder train in the local papers. Makes me think that Big Otto is behind this. And there's a very simple thing that you could do to avoid getting hit by a train. Take the pledge. There's a formal bright line pledge that you take online. And I should see it on your IG stories, everybody, where you sign up and you promise to not get hit by a train. I've done it.
Dream on.
It's such an easy promise
No,
to make.
No,
It's
and
the
I
easiest
found it
one,
weird that I
actually.
actually had to sign up to do it because, look, I've lived my entire life and I haven't come close to getting hit by a train. I don't understand. I'll make a guarantee on this show right now. I am never getting hit by a
Oh,
train.
don't say that.
Oh,
Never get hit
don't
by a
say
train.
that.
I will never get hit by a train because I took the pledge.
I feel like Florida thinks it's special with like not having trains and no one knows what to do. Florida, meet Virginia. Other states don't have trains
I'm
and they
good.
don't have nearly the amount of accidents that we do down here.
Why do Tony and Mike fancy themselves train experts? I feel like the both of you started taking trains 6 months ago.
That's right, Dan.
That's why.
The good thing about our trains is that cars
Marry
don't
me.
drive where we go because we're so high up.
I mean,
Metro.
there's trolleys everywhere in San Francisco. You don't see people screaming, "Save me, San Francisco!"
Because they all took the pledge? That's why, okay.
Brightline is a business that got absolutely crushed because of the idiots in Miami or who drove onto tracks and got hit. It crushed them.
If
and
only
now
there was a way to know that a train was coming.
it's so easy, and it's something that hasn't been changed in 100 years. The lights, sounds, and a gate.
The trains really have been warning us since the 1800s that they're coming.
And it's the same warning. There's no need
And
to
they're
improve
leaving
it.
bruises.
I like the idea that, like, hey, is there a better way we can do this?
And
No.
she's on fire.
This is the absolute pinnacle of warning people
We are putting down a gate
and
to
make
stop
light,
you from driving.
sound, and obstacle.
What else is left?
Somebody holding you by the arm. Somebody shouting
Yes.
at you. What are you doing, you idiot?
I
It's
want
not-
everyone right now to search hashtag Go Brightline.
I'm
and take the
calling
Brightline
on all
pledge.
angels
Yep.
to take the pledge.
Take the Brightline pledge right now and promise me and everyone that you won't get hit by a train.
I will make the promise right now. I'll take the pledge.
Take the pledge.
There is no scenario under which I will get hit by a train.
I mean,
Not
both.
one.
Hey, look at us, never getting hit by a train.
I'm gonna. There's a lot of other ways that we could bite it, but that's not one of them.
Although train does have a lot of hits.
It's not like the train is silent either. Even if there were no bells, you could hear this huge thing rumbling from like hundreds
It's
of yards
actually easier
away.
than that. When you get out of your car or look down, if you see a track, you may not want to be stopped there. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
If I get hit by a train, something terrible has happened. I am terrified
didn't take the
of rail
pledge?
crossings. I will take the pledge. There's better ways to shake up Christmas.
I would assume that it would be a murder if one of us got hit by a train.
David Sampson just with no Bible present, no judge, jury, courtroom. He just held up his left hand to swear that he would never get hit by a train. And I don't think the holding up of the left hand that shackles you to any oath whatsoever.
without a right hand on a certain document.
Swear it
right?
on TikTok.
Yeah. Come on, take the pledge. Let's all sing together.
The one thing David says, like, the only way you could get hit by a train is if you were murdered, which of course made me think of people getting tied to the railroad tracks and a fiendish villain with a long pencil mustache.
So if you get hit by a train, we'll look for rope. That's the only explanation.
And a piano. Ding, 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 as the piano.
I would assume that this is one of the more common ways to commit suicide. Is it not? The getting hit
Oh
by
my
a train?
God.
No, I don't even
no.
think that's top 10.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
rising.
a heartbreaker.
I'll work on that top 5 right now.
You're going to work on the top 5. We could
No,
probably
we're
look
not.
this.
We're not doing that.
We could probably look
Nope.
this up.
Obviously,
Calling all
if-
angels.
if
We're not
you're-
doing
If
it.
you're having those
We're gonna take a
thoughts,
pledge.
there are numbers to call. Can we
Yes.
say that? There are numbers to call, but going hit by a train is not.
No, you're not going to hit. This ain't goodbye.
I believe.
Dan, why did you do that? We were having such a great segment.
Well, now that you're back from the atmosphere.
How was ayahuasca?
You did it?
I have not done ayahuasca yet. I don't know why he would ask me that question.
It's the end of the segment.
I think this segment ended a long time ago.